Hi, welcome to my channel. If this is your first time, if you're coming back again, it's so good to have you. Yes, and today I'm going to be talking about consistency. That topic is is huge. So I remember that for about some years, I would always pray to God. I think this is not 2 years, 3 years. I would always pray to God that God should help me to be consistent. I really don't know. I was struggling with consistency a lot. But thankfully, to the glory of God, I realized that there were some key things to consistency. I read books, I did a number of things, but there were some solid foundation that God helped me to see about consistency, which I'm going to be sharing in this video. So number one is God is a consistent God. Like I learned that from God, and I think one thing that solidified it for me was reading Galatians chapter 6, verse 9, which says that let us not grow weary while doing good, because in due time God is going to give a reward. That just went straight into my heart, that there's always a reward for consistency. And God is so intentional about it that He Himself is consistent. If He promises something, He brings it to pass. And another one that I find very interesting is Titus 2:7-8. It says, in all things, show yourself to be a pattern of good work. Pattern. Like that pattern just went straight into my heart. I just realized that with consistency, that reward is enough as a driving force, because reward only comes to those people who don't give up. And that for me was really profound. So that would lead me to some key principles that I'm using to achieve consistency. Are you ready for it? Yeah, let's have it. And that is, I realized that it's important to know why you need to be consistent. Know your why. For me, one of my whys in learning to be consistent is understanding that there's reward for everything that I do consistently, and there's reward for me if I don't give up. And I think one of the things that really discourages us most of the time is the reward is looking far away, we are not getting it. And that's why constantly remind ourselves, and also learning from Jesus, that who for the joy that was set ahead of him endured the pain of the cross. So that for me is enough. That okay, so this now leads me to saying, Toby, this thing that you are doing, what is the reward? Because if I'm able to identify the reward correctly, it makes it easier to know, to push to the end, right? That's one. And number two is, I realize that when we first have a vision about something and we really want to get it done, that energy, that burst of energy wants us to, think about, okay, I'll do this, I'll do that. But one thing I'm also learning to do is to think about it well, that this thing that I'm about to set my foot into, if peradventure I wake up on a day and I say, I'm so tired, what is that thing that I will still be able to push myself into? So if I'm picking up a new habit, it's important that I slowly ease into it and not rush, and then you do it for the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, and then after that, that's all. Slowly ease into it. My next point is going to be, in a case where I started something today and I'm not able to continue tomorrow. For instance, I'm learning French, and there's something that has to do with streak. So I realized that they give you the opportunity to keep your streak for the next day, even if you don't get to do it. And this has helped me to learn that if I am doing something and maybe I miss a day, it's okay to continue when you remember. Like, don't beat yourself up. Don't get angry. Just do what? Continue from where you stop. And I also realized that comparison is really one of the things that distracts from consistency. So let's say, for instance, I started going to the gym and I had a simple goal to get fit. Then you get to the gym and then you see some people, they are running 30 kilometers on the treadmill. And you begin to compare yourself that, okay, so me too, let me start running. In no time, I'm just building that strength to start running. So if I'm beginning to compare myself and I'm learning what I'm not supposed to be learning, I'm learning wrongly, it gets to a point that I expend all the energy that I'm supposed to use to carry myself for a long time, and I just give up. And it constantly feels like, okay, why is it that every time I go to the gym, one day, the first day, second day, by the time it's the third day, I give up? So I'm learning to not compare myself and just look towards the goal. This will lead me to my next point. It's important to review our why. So sometimes we start a goal, we start something, and then you were consistent, you've been doing it for days. All of a sudden, you realize that you are not able to do it again. I think it's important to review your why and also check yourself. Have I evolved? So, for instance, I was always reading this confession, Proverbs 31, and I realized that I did it consistently for like 9 months. And at some point, I started struggling with doing it. And I had to review that, okay, this thing, is it really necessary again? And I saw that, oh, my ability to consistently do it has moved to something else because I have evolved, and it was okay to also evolve with it. And this will lead me to say it's important to to redefine your consistency goals. So for instance, your consistency before, when you were really free, was to do something weekly, and now your hands are more full, and the only thing you can do, the best thing you can do for yourself in that time is to review. Maybe what used to be consistency once every week can now be consistency once every month or once in 2 months. And if you see, you review and you realize that I think I might need to let go, it's okay to let go and pick up on some other new things. And most importantly, thank God for the journey. And like we would always say, yeah, if you start and a break came in and you realize that you really need this, it's important to go again. So I'm going to leave you with this, that whatever you need to do, don't give up, go again. And thank you so much for watching once again this time. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and do all the good stuff so that other people can get to see this video. And I thank you so much for your support. The only thing that has made me come to record this video today is because I am learning to be consistent, and I hope you will learn to be consistent as well. Bye.